Greetings and welcome to the Health Studies Collegium 5 Keys to Restoring Health webinar on detoxification. Well, let's begin. I'm Russ Jaffe. I'm a fellow of the American Society for Clinical Pathology, the American College of Nutrition, the American College of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, the Federation of Clinical Immunology Societies, and I'm a fellow of the American Medical Laboratory Immunologists, as well as an overseas fellow of the Royal Society of Medicine. I'm a senior fellow at the Health Studies Collegium Foundation, founder and chairman of PERC Integrative Health, ELISA Act Biotechnologies, and RMJH RX. So welcome to 5 key strategies for better practices. And these are: first, immune system tolerance and assessment of delayed allergies, because inflammation is really repair deficit. The second key strategy is use of health assessment questionnaires to personalize supplement and lifestyle and other personal assessments. The third key strategy is safer toxin removal. All 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of detoxification should be engaged. The fourth is the overall alkaline way, using nature, nurture, and wholeness to guide outcomes. And the fifth is evoking human healing responses, removing obstacles to recovery. In this presentation, we focus on the third strategy, safer functional detoxification. Now, with regard to safer functional detoxification, let's first look at toxic eating, because more than 50% of the population is either obese, suffering from distress, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, chronic hospitality to infections, and overall repair deficits, more commonly known as inflammation. Functional detoxification is needed more today than ever. If we compare the century between 1900 and 2000, between the 20th and beginning of the 21st century, there's been a 1,500% increase in the bulk industrial chemicals released into the environment. That's a more than 15-fold increase. And in hindsight, many of these are hormone disruptors or have other physiologic but unexpected effects. And are we really being exposed? Well, if you look at all pregnant women in the United States, they are exposed to 43 or more xenotoxins, typically measurable in the blood of their placenta. So yes, there are more toxic chemicals that the body's exposed to, and we do need to detoxify from them on a regular and ongoing basis. Here are 2 quotes to illustrate the point we want to make, particularly about POPs. These are the persisting organic pollutants. The persisting organic pollutants, or POPs, as the top quote says, the findings suggest for girls that prenatal exposure to these persisting organic pollutants, or POPs, plays a role for later development of metabolic diseases by affecting the level of insulin. So insulin, which is really a growth factor, has a receptor. The receptor is often altered by these persistent pollutants, or these persistent pollutants bind to the insulin and alter its shape, alter its recognition, inducing anti-insulin antibodies in people because of the persisting organic pollutants. And on the bottom half of this slide, the quote says, "We conclude that cytoskeletal proteins and their processing, glucose metabolism, and messenger RNA processing may represent targets affected by exposure to conditions hostile to pancreatic beta cells, including exposure to DDT and DDE." DDT and DDE were early, widely used pesticides. They were effective against mosquitoes, but they had persistence in the environment and are now known to be toxic when they concentrate in the insulin-producing cells of the pancreas. As you see by these references, they are very current. This is newly emerging science after many decades of careful investigation. If we look at the cycle as it usually exists in regard to environmental burdens. We can start at the top in the middle with liver being overloaded by the habits of daily living and or medications that might be taken. If we continue around clockwise, this adds a detoxification burden to the liver and digestive tract, which can add to oxidative stress. And as we come around clockwise, an increase in free radical production due to the oxidative stress that results in chronic health problems, inflammation, swelling, and pain. And when that's treated with orthodox or symptom suppressive medications, it often inhibits repair and induces a further leakiness of the gut or a dysbiosis that then further burdens the liver, the Kupffer cells that line the liver, and that are the first line of environmental detoxification defense. Now, healthy detoxification is a many splendid thing. Primary detoxification is the responsibility of the liver, but the intestines provide a backup system, as does the skin, as do the lungs, as the whole digestive tract. So there are many ways for the body to reduce toxin burden. However, when these burdens build up, they can damage the very organs designed to detoxify them. So what is the PERC Personalized Detox 30 to 60 day program? For healthy people, a month. For people with an extra toxin burden, we suggest stretching this out over several months. And what you see are on the upper left, PERC LivaGuard Forte and PERC Detoxin Guard. On the upper right, PERC Repair Guard, PERC Potency Guard, either the tabsule or the powder. On the bottom left, you see PERC Mag Plus Guard and PERC Choline Citrate. Bottom middle, PERC EPA DHA Omega 3s. And on the lower right, PERC MitoGuard. And taken together, these are the PERC Personalized Detox 30 to 60 day plan. Now, we talked about the phases of detoxification. What do we mean that PERC Detoxin Guard is a unique combination? Because PERC Detoxin Guard includes phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 detoxification all in one. So phase 1, as you see on the lower left of the slide, phase 1 detoxification means metabolizing the toxin to a less toxic and more easily transported and excreted form. Phase 2 means conjugation, that is making it more water soluble either as a mercapturate or binding hippuric acid to form the D-glucarate or the sulfate to increase the water solubility and increase by conjugation the ease with which the body can remove this in the urine, in the sweat, and in the stool. And then there's phase 3, or lipotropic detoxification. The quality, the solubility of the bile, the ability of the bile to deliver toxins into the intestines. The toxins should be bound by dietary fiber, but the bile should also help with the uptake of fat-soluble nutrients and vitamins. However, if there's not a soluble lipotropic bile, if the bile is not enhanced with choline to make it flow more easily, if there's not fiber to bind the toxins in the intestines, those toxins can build up either in the liver or by reabsorption through the enterohepatic circulation into the body. So PERC Detoxin Guard is a unique lipotropic plus minerals formula, a powerful triple detoxifier that neutralizes cell acids, boosts immune defense and repair, and gets the bad stuff out. In addition to PERC Detoxin Guard, we recommend PERC LivaGuard Forte to beat oxidative stress. This contains the psilocybin beta-rich silymarin, mixed natural carotenoids, natural tocopherols, natural CoQ10, and vitamin D3, all micellized for better uptake through tiny nanodroplets. And PERC LivaGuard Forte is specifically designed to protect and repair the liver, spleen, and kidney when there's been toxic burden. And very often we need both PERC Detoxin Guard and PERC LivaGuard Forte for a period of time. In regard to the beneficial EPA-DHA omega-3 fats, PERC EPA-DHA Guard is the preferred source. Why? Because PERC EPA-DHA Guard is distilled under nitrogen that removes toxins and protects the essential fats from air oxidation. Fat-soluble toxins, including toxic metals and persisting pollutants, are removed by the distillation. And PERC EPA-DHA Guard is the best way to restore cell membrane flexibility. And by removing the toxic minerals such as lead, mercury, and arsenic, by enhancing magnesium in the individual, and knowing that magnesium protects the essential fatty acids, the EFAs, magnesium protects EPA and DHA while it's in transport and in use in the body. We recommend PERC Potency Guard, the L-ascorbate 100% reduced and buffered form that repairs and renews better. We recommend PERC Potency Guard because it's the universal maternal antioxidant. That is, like a good mother, it sacrifices itself to regenerate the other antioxidants in the membrane, in the cytoplasm, in the mitochondria, in the membrane of the nucleus, as well as the nucleus itself. We recommend a triple crystallized form that's done under a nitrogen blanket so that the ascorbate itself isn't damaged during production. And one of the many benefits from ascorbate is to remove toxic minerals. And we show the calculation here that for each gram of ascorbate, about 10 micrograms of toxic mineral can be removed from the body. And since the daily exposure is about 20 micrograms a day, we suggest that the first 2 grams of ascorbate taken in is used to safely protect and excrete toxic minerals. You see on the lower right that the daily toxic mineral exposure is about equal to what 2 grams of ascorbate can safely protect from and help excrete. We've recommended the ascorbate calibration. For healthy people, 1.5 grams or 1/2 teaspoon every 15 minutes. For moderately ill people, a teaspoon or 3 grams every 15 minutes. And for chronically ill people, 2 teaspoons, 6 grams every 15 minutes. This ascorbate calibration enables us to find out how much total oxidative stress the individual is under and to mitigate that through the use of the ascorbate calibration or the C-cleanse if you prefer. Here we see some self-reported data, and we replace this with populations on the far left. The yellow group are the healthy people. They calibrate with less than 4 grams of ascorbate. The orange population have minimal symptoms, and they calibrate between 5 and 10 grams. The 80% of the green population calibrates between 10 and 120 grams, and then there are about 1 in 5 people who need more than 120 grams in order to calibrate. So if we look at the pro-repair detoxifying nutrients that we want to enrich in the diet, this includes the personal C-cleanse and ascorbate-rich fruits and vegetables. This includes dark fruits and superfoods, polyphenolic-rich dark berries and dark vegetables. We want B-methyl cofactors in balanced form, sufficient to keep the urine sunshine yellow. We want biodetoxification using ascorbates and greens rich in the diet. High sulfur foods to help with detoxification, to help keep a methionine high and a homocysteine low. Garlic, ginger, onions, brassica or broccoli sprouts, and eggs. The acronym is GGOBE for garlic, ginger, onions, brassica sprouts, and eggs. And finally, beneficial omega-3 EPA-DHA. We recommend this in the pure, uncontaminated, micellized form for better uptake. And as with our whole philosophy, we want all actives in all the products all the time. We want to complement a better diet with targeted supplementation to meet individual needs and achieve superior outcomes. If we take a moment to look at some of the successes that the PERC detoxification program has brought, we start with HM, a 41-year-old fellow with fatigue and excessive drowsiness. He went on the 30-day PERC Advanced Detox program. The outcome was that after 30 days, he had good mental clarity and energy. He stopped after 30 days and felt worse, more tired, sleepy, and low appetite. He restarted the PERC Advanced Detox program, regained his appetite, felt better, added the PERC Mag Plus Guard and PERC choline citrate based on first AM urine pH, and has continued to do well. BT is a 40-year-old woman with brain fog, fatigue, and sore tongue. She's unable to take any supplements, she said, because she's very sensitive. The plan was the PERC Advanced Detox program, but spread over 3 months. And the outcome was fatigue almost gone, more clear-headed and wide awake, repeat heavy metal provocation revealed lower lead levels, and overall reduction in risk, improvement in health status. Another individual, a 16-year-old fellow, an athlete with joint aches and acne. He did the C-Cleanse and the PERC 30-day Advanced Detox plan. He avoided his LRA reactive items as best he could, and he added PERC Way Guard meals. Then he added PERC Joint Guard and PERC Mag Plus Guard, PERC choline citrate. The patient reports no joint aches and some acne improvement. Following the detox program, he continued the PERC Way Guard and the supplements, and then reported the acne was gone after 2 to 3 months. In regard to the PERC detox program, there are certain non-invasive urinary tests that we recommend, and these integrative detox assessments that are incremental and optional include the following: a D-glucaric acid in the urine, mercapturic acid in the urine, D-penicillamine provocation for essential and toxic minerals in the urine. Hippuric acid conjugates with certain toxics in the body to form D-glucarates, D-glucaric acid products, and the lab can measure the total D-glucaric acid products as a measure of that phase of detoxification, the hippurate-related detoxification. Mercapturates are sulfur-related, often including glutathione, cysteine, and other sulfur-containing amino acids. So measuring the mercapturates in the urine is an independent measure of detoxification activity. And finally, D-penicillamine provocation, where penicillamine is taken for just 3 days, and on the second day, a 24-hour urine collected for essential and toxic minerals. Now, we have pioneered the use of predictive biomarkers, and particularly high-sensitivity predictive biomarkers. And to briefly review, a predictive biological marker is a specific subcategory of analytic observations. It's a specific kind of test that objectively, that agnostically indicates a medical state observed from outside the patient that can be measured accurately and reproducibly. So precision is important, while predicting 10-year survival and current quality of life. QOLY is quality of life years ahead. If we look at these essential predictive biomarker tests, the ones that can determine functional age, that can determine the probability of living 10 years. These are high sensitivity tests, HS hemoglobin A1C, HS CRP, HS homocysteine, and HS LRA. If we start in the upper left, hemoglobin A1C, coming across that part of the table, is involved with sugar, insulin, energy conversion, and the predictive goal value is less than 5% sugar on the hemoglobin A1C. In regard to high sensitivity C-reactive protein, or hsCRP, it's a measure of repair deficit or inflammation and immune repair capacities with a goal value of less than 0.5 milligrams per liter. The HCY, the high sensitivity homocysteine, is a measure of detoxification of epigenetic methylation and sulfur-related transport and detoxification, with a goal value of less than 6 micromoles per liter. And the HS lymphocyte response assay, the immune memory and repair tolerance test, with the goal of no delayed reactions. Now, there are also 4 candidate predictive biomarker tests that I believe will take their place as evidence accrues over the next decades. If we take these from the top, they are the first AM urine pH, vitamin D, omega-3 index, and 8-oxoguanine. And then if we look at these again coming across the table, the first AM urine pH is an assessment of mineral need and cellular acidosis status. So extra acid that gets cleared out of cells gets concentrated in the urine while we rest and is measurable in the first urine after that rest. With a predictive goal value of 6.5 to 7.5, not too acid, not too alkaline. The sixth biomarker test is a vitamin D, 25-hydroxycholecalciferol or 25-hydroxy-D. Vitamin D is really a neurohormone that helps cells communicate and proliferate properly with a goal value of 50 to 80 nanograms per ml. Omega-3 index is a measure of beneficial omega-3 to omega-6 essential fatty acids, EFAs. We want more than 8% omega-3 in the membrane. And the last, the eighth, is the 8-oxoguanine, a measure of oxidative stress and antioxidant status in the nucleus, with a goal of less than 5 nanograms per milligram creatinine. Now here you see the normal or usual lab ranges compared to the predictive biomarker goal values and ranges. Here are the 8 tests from top to bottom, and you can see the difference between the statistical normal ranges that laboratories offer versus the best outcome, the best survival after 10 years, the best function today and tomorrow, the goal values. To repeat, the hemoglobin A1C goal value is less than 5%, HSCRP less than 0.5, homocysteine less than 6, LRA immune tolerance, first AM urine pH in the 6.5 to 7.5 range, vitamin D, 25-hydroxy-D in the 50 to 80 nanogram per ml, omega-3 index more than 8%, and 8-oxoguanine less than 5 nanograms per milligram creatinine. Now, why are these so important? Well, they're important because 92% of lifetime health is choice. 92% of our lifetime health is epigenetic. It's the choices we make about what we eat and drink, think, and do determine that 92% of our health efficiency, our health status, our health resilience and risk. So epigenetics influences gene expression and is the supermajority, 92% of lifetime health. 8% is genetic. And when we use these predictive biomarkers, we're upstream even from subclinical disease and certainly upstream from chronic disease. And these predictive biomarkers give us information about probability of living 10 years, but they also give us information to guide healthier habits of daily living so that we can reduce risk today and live well tomorrow. So if we review the qualified predictive biomarkers and their personalized evidence-based comparative use, starting in the upper left, the green hemoglobin A1C, coming around clockwise, HSCRP, homocysteine, and LRA by ELISA Act, the 4 classic predictive biomarkers, and then the 4 candidates, first AM urine pH, vitamin D, omega-3 index, and 8-oxoguanine. And these 8 together cover the 92% of health that we can influence, and we want to influence it for the better. So these 5 key strategies in practice are the WellGuard program. The WellGuard program involves LRA tests to identify immune-damaging food and chemical sensitivities. It includes a health appraisal questionnaire, an HAQ, that gives us information from the individual to combine with the cell culture in planning a guide to their management. We want to remove excess and damaging toxins 3 different ways. We want to restore and rebuild with personalized but targeted supplementation, addressing individual needs. And living an alkaline way, a diet and lifestyle that promotes well-being, that enhances quality of life. Getting started. To open an account, call 1-800-553-5472. That's a toll-free number in North America, 1-800-553-5472. or visit www.elisaAct.com/new-account-set-up-form/. And if you already have an account with PERC or ELISA Act Biotechnologies, let your account specialist know that you want to offer the WellGuard program to enhance your practice results, your practice revenue, and to differentiate your practice from others. So we've looked at 5 key strategies to restoring health. I'm Russ Jaffe, a physician and scientist who came as a skeptic and now is eager to share with you what he has gleaned from evoking human healing responses and removing obstacles to recovery. May we all be well and happy.